So hello and welcome once again to my layout, New Junction. As you can see, we've got the main line running alongside the heritage line, which is fantastic. It's great to have trains running. But that said, all isn't sweetness and roses. There's trouble on the line. Stick around and we'll find out what's gone wrong. So, since last episode, we'll start with the good news. I have completed the first loop here on the main line. Now, as you can see, I've got the brand new 31285 Cura scale scooter running around the layout, and it's just about coping with my dodgy track work because the modular boards on this side have taken a bit of a battering and they all need sort of rejigging, etc. But the main line being complete is where the good news starts and stops, because as they say, bad things come in threes, and they did. Now, it's not just because this 31 is brand new that I'm running it, it's because I have trouble with my Azuma 800 and the Class 92 and its huge rake of sleeper coaches. Let's go and take a closer look. So I've brought you inside the layout now to the operating well, as it were, and as you can see, 466 is running round delicately past my edgeless fiddle yard. Hopefully no derailments. Now, the trouble has come with these two trains. The first one, I'll start with Hornby now. The Azuma 801, I'm going to say, is a very nice model, etc., etc. No regrets at all. However, the new model, for whatever reason, comes with extremely draggy wheel sets. And the actual model itself, which I believe is a better version than the original run, or an improved, I should say, can't actually pull all 10 coaches. So it just spins. Now this, as you know, is a completely brand new baseboard, and it's completely flat. It's never moved. It's been built in this position, as you know. But it can't move it at all. So I've done a bit of research, and I'm told a bit of extra lubrication on the wheel sets will see this right. But annoyingly, I've lost my lubrication pen. So this is going to have to wait in the sidings. I've even tried cutting its rake down just to see where it cuts off, and it still struggles a bit more than I want it to, with 4 coaches even. I'll report back when I get some lubrication. Moving on to the Class 92 and the sleeper sets now. Back in the old layout, I always had 8 coaches running, no problem at all. They would work fine with the as supplied magnets, but that was pretty much their limit, the H coach mark. Now I have upgraded these to the West Hill Wagon Works coupling. Now they're, as you can see, much more beefy than the originals, and these are strong enough, believe it or not, for 16 coaches to be all joined magnetically. No problem at all. However, I'm finding, because my radius on this line is so tight, it actually uncouples when it gets to the corners on the tunnel side, so behind you, which is typical. Otherwise, it's working fine. But no, another solution that needs a problem. Another problem that needs a solution. That's the right way around, isn't it? Getting trains running so far has been interesting. However, once this is up and running, these will be on the up fast. This is the up slow lines. So I think what's needed is me to stop waffling and get on laying the next line on the main line. Now if we move on from that edge, you can see coming to this corner that I'm now working on the track coming from the tunnel side, so I'm working inside out. So as you can see, I've got the first lane in very loosely, and the second lane's going in now, and as you can see I've got a nice double track run going around, and I'll talk to you more about the new junction point work over there in a minute, but I will show you a few things. So I'm trying to make the curves a bit more relaxed because they are sweeping curves. You can just see them in the tunnel there. They're actually, maybe you can't, they're actually sweeping curves. So these will need angling up a little bit. And also I'm getting ever so slight pinching here, which won't do. So basically the curves are coming out ever so slightly, one lane further out really. So that'll mean that this fourth lane, which has never actually had a full loop yet, but this fourth lane will mean that we'll probably have to come out a bit more again. So what I've done is I've lightly tacked these two, and I'll do the same with the third. It's probably easier to extend or put a bridge here in the boards than it would be to add on a lip for this whole end, but we'll see when we come to it. Anyway, the idea is we can have faster trains running without any trouble, so I want a easier curve, much more gradual, and the new baseboards being further out allow that for the inside track, so this is much more of a sweeping curve. Anyway, let's go and talk to you about New Junction. So here we are, one of the important sections of the fiddle yard, which is the sweeping junctions coming into the fiddle yard. So the first three lines, which is on the up slow, has a triple point. Now the reason I've done this is because this line, although we'll have freight trains on it, won't have the longest trains I have, and it'll primarily probably have sort of small units and, well, slow freight in effect, so it doesn't need to be fast and sweeping, even though the radius on these is the same as the curve points here. So things like the sleeper and the zoomers will be on the next line along, the up fast. It's also a cheaper option for the points because I believe to break it into three lines you need two of these points, whereas if you're using curve points you'd need four, so two on each end. As one of these. I believe it's slightly cheaper to do this, so why not? Of course, if I wanted to, I could also have the curve points on this line and make them longer still, but as we proved with the sleeper earlier, we don't need to. In amongst my mesh, you can see I've got the two back-to-back curve points. So these are Pico Streamline Code 75 points, and these two are the SLE186. They're the Electrofrog units. So you do require insulated rail joints. So for Code 75, that is the SL111. And of course, on the outside of the frog, you still require your normal joiners, which are the SL110. Now, one of the main reasons to lay the curve points is the fact that you can actually start the siding much sooner as you come onto your fiddle yard board. So if I really wanted to, I could bring these all the way back to sort of past where my hand is and have really, really long trains. But I'm in the fortunate position that I've got the 28 foot or whatever the layout is now, so I don't really need to worry too much. One advantage that the two lots of points do offer, not being so close together, is underneath the baseboards I will have lots of room for the point motors. So don't forget, whenever you're laying points, always check your beams underneath the baseboard to make sure that nothing's in the way of future point motors. So I have to admit, as I'm laying these new lines, I am cheating. So I am using the Pico Electrics power feed joiners. Their code is PL81, and as you can see, they are quite simply pre-soldered fish plates, which are immeasurably better, if we can focus, than my soldering effort, and they will very simply go in between the tracks. So as you can see, I've come off the point, first track join, and I'll probably add one here and then one further down up the layout as we go. All you need to remember, of course, is when putting these in, drill a hole just next door, thread it through, pop them on, easy as peasy. Right, less waffle, let's get this second line laid. This process should be fairly simple. I'm just going to start by drilling the 2 holes for the pre-soldered fish plates. Now, this screw tells me that there's a beam just underneath here, so I've had a look, so I'm just going to put it to the side ever so slightly, but very close to the rail. Hopefully that's passed through. Yeah, there's enough room. What I will do is I always use the phrase back to the black, which always helps remember which way to put the coloured wire in. Now, I do like using Westhill Wangworks' little tool because it saves your fingers when putting fish plates in. Just line it up, push it on, and away you go. That shouldn't drop off like some of my other ones have been doing. Now, doing the same again with the red one. Finding the edge of the rail and pushing it on. There we go, and I'll just pull them down, make sure there's no slack above the rail. Does anyone else wonder why Pico put these little things on the track? Now, maybe it's because people buy them individually, but always feels pointless considering someone has to put them there. Right, so even though this is a perfectly straight rail, I'm still going to take the first sleeper off each end. And I'll thread this on. Now with FlexiTrack, I find it can often it doesn't want to go in. It's going on. FlexiTrack, if I was to try and force that, it can often bend, so what I always do, get some trusty pliers and just straight on. Remembering to leave a gap in the rails between the 2 lanes, between the 2 pieces of track, sorry, depending on what time of year it is, to make up for expansion. So in the summer your rail will have expanded, so it will warmer temperature, so you want to leave less of a gap, but when it's cool you want to leave a little gap, a mil or 2 always. And then again, using my trusty tool, just size it up, keep it straight from the piece previously laid inwards. That makes sure the tracks don't actually hit each other. Now, lots of people ask me where I got this from. Now, I got this from PGM Models. I'm not sure if they're commercially available yet, but I know Westhill Wagonworks also do a version, just plastic, and that's spot on. What I'll do is I'll go to the other end of the piece of track, measure it out, and I'll start all the way from over here actually. Make sure they're roughly level, measure it out and then pin it down, again just loosely. I'd always go over the piece of track, pin it down just before the next piece, and then if there's any high spots I'd do the same again. But luckily this lane is now wide in, so in theory I don't need another one unless I'm going to put a join in, but I'll put a second one in further down. Let's get on. So I've laid all the track to the other end, and now it's time to do the points. Now I've got the two curved points and placed together. As you can see, don't quite match the angle unless I push them right out on the current one. So I can either use them as they are and get a spare piece of track, hopefully the right size to fill the void, or do I swap them for these particular ones to be the straight express points? That is the question. Because although this isn't straight, it would lend itself to two straight points at this point. Purely on a neatness basis, I think I'm going to put them somewhere here. Yeah, we'll do that for now and see how it goes. And there we go. After a bit of work, you can see we've got 1, 2, and 3 trains running around the layout, typically all in the same direction. Right, I just want to say a big thank you as ever for watching this video. It's hopefully of some interest. I know it's just been laying track, but big progress here on the layout. It'll be nice to do the next loop because the trains will actually go the other way for once. So as ever, I want to say a big thank you to the channel patrons and YouTube members for your support. As always, it's very much appreciated, and without you, this wouldn't be so possible so quickly. Right, I think I'm going to have a small break from track laying now, and I'll show you why on the station. Because I have found a solution to the front wall of the station. Now, I'm going to go with the Larson walling, which is again from Key Model World shop. It's 3D printed plastic, paints up very nicely, and I think it'll look quite nice here on the layout. It'll look as if the mainline station is being kept by Network Rail, and they've done some work on the embankment over time, leaving the heritage line to it. The alternative, of course, which was suggested by one of the patrons, is to put walling there, but we'll save that for next time. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what you think to this idea, because this scene is next on the radar. Right, as ever, thank you very much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.